Generation 4. Objectively, the best era of competitive Pokemon. No Amoonguss, no Landorus, no Thundurus, no Ferrothorn, no Mega Shenanigans. Just good, clean Pokemon battles. The Battle Revolution era was also just truly amazing, and there was not a doubt in my mind that I was the best Pokemon player in the world at this time. So I want to go and relive those good old days in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and this is the team I'm going to be doing it with, because this is my team from back then. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and share it with all your friends. I am super excited for competitive Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. The National Dex only goes to 493 in the games. It's a pretty faithful remake. We got some new shenanigans going on. Gonna see how the hidden abilities interact. Also moveset updates and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be mixing that in to my playstyle. Togekiss is a fairy-type Pokemon. Like, that's already going to be some insane stuff right there. So we're going to be getting into all the fun. But yeah, it looks like we are going to have another renaissance of competitive Pokemon. So let's start off with one of my... Actually, pretty much every Pokemon I'm going to talk about was my signature Pokemon of the era with Scarfkiss. Scarfkiss has been in all of my Pokemon teams from Generation 4 through Generation 8. Serene Grace, Air Slash, it's cheese. It's hateful, it's RNG, and I love it so much. Because I had two philosophies going into Pokemon battling back in Generation 4, and all of that eventually snowballed into my channel, kind of really kicking into Pokemon in Generation 6, blowing up in Generation 7, and then here I am, being the Pokemon master I am today, making a living playing Pokemon. All of my childhood dreams have come true, and Togekiss, or Scarfkiss, is a really big part of that. So my philosophies were RNG, Stockpile. That's how I played the game, and that's what you're going to see in these teams, and it just kind of worked out. So back in the day, pretty sure I ran Modest. I didn't really care too much about speed tiers. I might have to, like, refresh on, like, what the speed tiers are up to and what's most optimal on the Togekiss, but pretty much, like, every Pokemon on my team had specific threat management, so Togekiss wasn't meant to be the fastest Pokemon that just outsped and dealt with everything. If there was a threat, I would just switch over to something else, set up Stockpile, and then win the game that way. Togekiss effectively just came in, and I'm like, okay, skill check. Is Togekiss going to just completely sweep through your team by going Scarf Air Slash and then locking you out of the game? Or are we actually going to have a competitive game of Pokemon right here? I like Modest because just the damage, but I think as I've kind of developed those damage calculations, it's not like, oh man, the 10% damage from Modest on special attack is making it to where, like, Togekiss is getting a 3-hit KO instead of a 4-hit KO in more scenarios than not. I think that's probably just going to be best to go Timid on this one. Back in the day, I ran Modest. Going to probably experiment with both, especially because the mints make it super easy, or depending on how the breeding's going, I just make one of each, and whatever ends up working better the most, I'm going to run. Air Slash, pretty strong. Draining Kiss. So, this is going to be a new addition, and I think it might be something to try out. Oh yeah, also, fun fact, back in Generation 4, that was before we had all the quality of life and stuff, like, if you evolve Pokemon, sometimes you're just, like, locked out into the moves that could get, especially with, like, these Stone Evolution Pokemon, and one thing that, like, piqued my interest in Togekiss was when I had the original, like, strategy guide. I was just kind of, like, maybe on Bulbapedia, flipping through the movesets, I was like, oh, that's almost a viable moveset right there, you know, you got Aura Sphere, Air Slash, I'll just take those, GG easy. And then we have Flamethrower, and I believe I even ran Shockwave. Maybe Shadow Ball? I don't remember the exact moveset at the time, but I just, like, kind of ran the common, you know, offensive things. Like, yeah, I'm just kind of covered for everything, but really, I'm pressing Air Slash 99.9% of the time, and there we go. With Draining Kiss, though, like, okay, Dragon-type and Dark-type Pokemon, you ain't got nothing on Togekiss anymore, and Garchomp, the threat used to be back in day that Garchomp could outrage Scarf Togekiss. So, like, yeah, that's why I didn't really care about Timid. I'm like, well, Scarf Chomp is just going to outspeed me and blow me up with Outrage anyways, so I'm just going to be modest and hope I get the most damage against anything else that's slower than that, and I think I'm going to win more games because of it. So with this, Garchomp just completely free switching. I mean, okay, cool, Scarf Chomp with Rock Slide. That means I switch into something else, and then I'm just going to get free setup because that's 0 damage and forces a switch. So, as long as that doesn't happen, or whatever shenanigans Garchomp is up to, it's like, yeah, I see you with Earthquake, I see you with Outrage, I'm going Togekiss, and then I'm just winning the game. Scarf Draining Kiss, not insane, but it kind of worked in Generation 8. Then we also do have the Dazzling Gleam. Like, that's just strong. But at the same time, it's like, well, Garchomp can't stay in on that, so I'm just going to throw Air Slash anyways, and then boom, I already have huge tempo. Flamethrower, This is more of an artifact of, like, Ferrothorn and stuff. But Flamethrower, I think you want to still outspeed Breloom and hit, but then you have Air Slash. Like, even against Grass-type Pokemon, not really too much. I don't know what the Flamethrower is here for, honestly. Maybe go back to Aura Sphere, but why go Aura Sphere when we have Dazzling Gleam for Fairy types now? So I don't know. I don't know what happens here anymore, but yeah, it's just like play to Air Slash, GG easy. And then people always mock me on Thunder Wave, but I want that, like, 0.1% win rate that this gives me, where Togekiss is either getting outsped or Air Slash isn't going to do anything against the opponent's Pokemon. So it's better for me to just Thunder Wave, sack, go into a different Pokemon, and then have the advantage. Like, what if a Pokemon sets up agilities, but because that, like, can't one-shot Togekiss, because Togekiss got some natural fat in there. It's just going to be able to tank even super effective hits or something. So I Thunder Wave it. It's no longer a threat. It can't sweep me. It's no longer on setup or something. Then my other Pokemon, either Froslass, Ambipom. I keep wanting to call it Apom. Froslass, Apom come in. Now they have the speed. They have the outspeed because of Thunder Wave, and then I just win the game off of that. Or because of the paralysis chance, I get a free stockpile, and then I win the game off that. So I mean, it's really just like 99.9% of the time I'm using this, 0.1% of the time I'm using this, and this actually wins games, and there's nothing else to put here that gives me win rate. Actually, I think I had Ancient Power, because memes, I don't know. We're going to see how it plays out with the meta or something, but yeah, Togekiss, kind of a interesting Pokemon, so just an ace, you play for the hacks, and then you shall be rewarded. And then we get to my most signature Pokemon, Stockpile Snorlax. And this is where my game began as a competitive Pokemon player. I was interested in breeding and EV training and like getting IVs and stuff in my Pokemon because I had the strategy guide and I was doing all kinds of cool stuff with it. And that's what I did. I would just look up moveset tables on Bulbapedia or the strategy guide until I just became the most knowledgeable player in the world. So, and I was like, Stockpile, this just seems like the most broken move. I don't care if it's only 3 uses. I used it 3 times. It's Snorlax, so I can't die, and I'm already hard to KO even at +0. And then, why not go Belly Drum? Why not go +6 attack, and then 1 or 2 shot everything on Crunch, which isn't immune by anything? Uncounterable. Except for, like, Infernape, but no one really ran Infernape, which is kind of weird because it hard-countered Skarmobliss. There was, like, very little fighting presence. There was very little anything that could happen to Snorlax back in the day. Then we just go max hit points, max defense, and that is for the Garchomp matchup. So, in the neutral, you know, I'm not going to use Snorlax to switch into an Outrage. Except there have been times I have. Like, because I come in, I tank, I know I can eat 2 of those, so eat an Outrage on the switch in, eat another Outrage, rest, Chesto Resto kicks in, now Garchomp's confused, and then I get to set up stockpiles, and if I get one of those confusions, which back in the day was a 50% chance, so it was pretty much going to happen, I'm good to go, and then I can just kind of set up from there. But in the neutral, alright, so 43%, I use stockpile, we're here. 29%, I use stockpile, we're here. 21%, still living. So I mean, I could take 3 max damage rolls from a Garchomp, completely fine. We rest here, Chesto, +3, Crunch, rest, Belly Drum, rest, and that's the thing, like, he's only doing this. This is a Scarf Chomp. This is Scarf Chomp using Outrage, its most dangerous move, and that was like the most dangerous move in Generation 4, and full defense Snorlax ate it like it was nothing, and I just get to play Pokemon and he doesn't. So, rest, and then that was it. Like, you just have to get to the 3 stockpiles, you rest, Belly Drum, rest, you wake up, and then you win the game. And that earlier Crunch, +6, Crunch, that sets me up for a KO onto the Garchomp. Sometimes I go double Crunch, but also the cool thing is, I'm buffed now, because back in the old school Generation 4, crits did double. Now crits only do 1.5 times. So what would just be a death sentence if I was crit, even at like full health or like a weird crit number, now I actually get to survive on all of my stockpiling Pokemon, heal up, and then proceed to win the game. So I'm down with that. That's just good. And there was also that weird undocumented change where it's like, oh yeah, crit in Generation 7 onwards is 1 in 24 instead of 1 in 16. And it did like increase the scaling, so you do like pump crit a lot faster. Like it was impossible to always have 100%. So I mean, like, Absol hurts me, but now the result is 1.5 times damage instead of 2 times damage, and the stray crits are much more rare. I don't feel it. I feel like I get crit more than ever in Generation 8 and even 7 and 6, so the unluckiest Pokemon battler in the world continues to hold true, but with this, like, I'm just stronger in every way. So far, Togekiss is stronger. So far, Snorlax is stronger. Drifblim I don't know what happens if you drop Strength Sap, Drifblim into the Gen 4 meta. I think I might be the first person to have a win rate over 100% in these games. Like, it used to be Stockpile, minimize Baton Pass, Ominous Win because I had nothing better to do, and if I was +3, like if I used Stockpile 3 times and minimize 3 times, I throw out an Ominous Win for lulz and it lands, that's just funny to me. So then I Baton Pass it away, good to go, GG easy, and then like Citrus Berry, what can they do? But I mean like, Strength Sap. But without all the power creep or Megas or Dynamax or Z moves blowing out my strategy and all the other weirdness, and then like Drifblim was already really hard to stop back in Gen, and even other weird things have happened. Gengar got nerfed. No more Levitates. There's just less Gengar presence because it gets blown up by Garchomp. Garchomp's nerfed by Fairy, but buffed by Gengar not having Levitate anymore. The game is actually going to be wacky, but I literally come out ahead in every regard now. So I already go from being the best Pokemon battler at the time to this with the same team where everything is just performing better. I'm kind of speechless at what the results are going to be. But yeah, like, Drifblim comes in at an unfortunate time, Stockpile, minimize Stockpile, Citrus Berry or whatever, and then Strength Sap comes in, and then I just bully on physical Pokemon. Oh, what's that? You bring in your Garchomp, I take your hit, Strength Sap it, now I'm back to full, and now you're just useless for the rest of, like, you have to switch again. But that doesn't work. I can just manually come in on the Garchomp, and then just start off with Strength Sap, go into Stockpiles, and then you lose the game. Actually, I probably don't need to do that. I haven't looked at the Drifblim damage calculations. I might have to keep a couple things. Screw it, let's just do it here. I was like, I'll keep some things under my coat, but it's gonna be out in like 4 days, so. Yeah, that was what I thought. So I thought it was gonna be an initial 2-hit KO. So, Tank It, Stockpile, Citrus Berry, Unburden, Strength Sap. Full health. Well, actually, it wouldn't be +2, it'd be +1. Oh my god, I'm just scuffing all the numbers. So we do that, and then -1. Garchomp doesn't get to play Pokemon at all now, and then I can just Stockpile Strength Sap. I can weave in that minimize whenever I want, and then those stats are going on to whatever Pokemon. Like there is a good bit of fun when you can just like throw a +4 evasion Togekiss with 1 or 2 stockpiles into the game, and then you just air slash until you run out of PP or win. That's cool. Snorlax, this is already nasty, but I mean, if I'm already coming in, I can just stockpile once, belly drum, rest, chesto activates, and then Crunch is online 5 turns sooner or something ridiculous like that. And this is like, Drifblim was already like 80% success rate, and if it goes off, it's a 100% win from there, except for, you know, crits, so I guess a 6%. Yeah, my maximum win rate is whatever 100 minus crit chances to a degree. I know, like, you can, the games last more than 1 turn, so there's like a 6% chance every turn, compounding odds and whatnot, but you know, it's just effectively funny like that. So yeah, like, this has like, I don't even know, 95% success rate, and then I just win every game however I see fit, and that's just off of like 3 Pokemon that can just carry right there. Froslass. This was my signature Pokemon. It makes me super sad that Froslass like wasn't viable in Generation 5, useless in Generation 6, and then just unplayable any other time. But this was the signature. This was also how I dealt with Garchomp outside of the Snorlax, because okay, it's Scarf Chomp. I'm switching in Froslass. I'm going to Ice Beam you, and like, so I eat your hit, Focus Sash, Ice Beam. Second Pokemon comes in, Destiny Bond. Now, I will admit, player base, not as good back then, but that just kind of shows why I was the best, because I was just so far above everyone in like game knowledge. I was pretty much playing modern Pokemon over a decade ago, and no one could handle it. So I go Ice Beam, Destiny Bond, and then people just ent into it. So Froslass is a 2-for-1. I'm now playing 5v4 with Snorlax Togekiss. GG. Thunderbolt's there for coverage, Shadow Ball's there for coverage. Oh, what's that, a Gengar? And then we trade off in weird ways. Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, man, I wish Froslass got a buff. Like, where's the stat buff in Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl to make a Generation 4 Pokemon useful? Not there. So, I mean, like, Pokemon, it's still sad to be a Froslass. Cursed Body as a hidden ability be introduced. That's gonna be interesting. I just had Snow Cloak. Almost never came to play, but it was funny if, like, there was just hail on the field and then Froslass comes in and like soaks a move. Happened like 1% of the time, but it was still kind of cool because there was actually some hail teams out there. People tried to run that, and then like just Curse Body. So Curse Body's gonna be interesting, see if it does anything for me. everything else, like I ran immunity because a lot of people like Toxic back in the day. Toxic stalling has always been at the core of Pokemon. So I would just eat a Toxic and then Stockpile, and that prevents me from resting a turn early, so I get like 2 free turns out of this ability. Whereas Thick Fat doesn't matter. Like Ice and Fire doesn't threaten me ever at all. So I'd rather just Stockpile through it, and then like, yeah, Thick Fat is no value effectively. That's just straightforward. Ambipom, also very straightforward Pokemon, but a very signature Pokemon mine. I was running this in Generation 6. You might have saw that from like, I think I ran more in Omega Green Alpha Sapphire, but I think it was also, did I run a lot in Pokemon X and Y initially? I think so, because I'd fake out Ambipom and then run Drifblim in doubles or even singles or something. It was weird. Either way, you go fake out, double hit, Technician, and then Life Orb. So like fake out, double hit, that's just a one shot. Like nothing really survives that on one of the fastest Pokemon in the game at 115 speed. So that's also nasty. And then you just coverage, and that's it. Double hit after that. So it's like everything, like Froslass was 1+, Ambipom was 1+, and then I just kind of take out your hard Pokemon, like your sweepers or something, and then like Snorlax wins the game. Also Togekiss, like, yeah, okay, what sweeper do you have left that survives Air Slash Scarf Kiss? Nothing. So that's it. And then I also had Gastrodon to completely halt momentum. So it's like, if Gastrodon needed to come in, it was Stockpile Recover. That, like I said, I did 2 things back in the day. I played RNG, and I played Stockpile, and that was unstoppable, and I loved every moment of it. So we had that. I think I ran like Toxic something. There was no Scald, so that was kind of like a newer thing that ended up being added in. Maybe I ran Earthquake because the attack diff on special attack, I think Earthquake actually comes out ahead over Earth Power by a significant amount. Haven't looked at that in a while, but here's the thing. Like, so I haven't run Gastrodon in a while. It's actually kind of cool to see Gastrodon coming back into the modern meta, but how did I not run Hippo? Here's what I did back in the day. When I found out that Stockpile was the best move ever, I also looked into Cosmic Power. I ran Sweep Claydol. I got sweeps with Cosmic Power Claydol because I was like, oh, this is the same thing. What Pokemon can like Cosmic Power and sustain? Claydol. I made a Stockpile, like you could just go down the list. I ran Stockpile Victory Bell in Gen 4. Lantern, I tested all of these Pokemon. Quillfish, maybe not Pelipper, maybe not Mawile. I had a Swalot. Like, how did I pick Swalot? How was I running Swalot in like 15% of my games? Because I like Stockpile that much. Swalot won me games because Stockpile was that good back in the day. No one could just handle a setup. It's not stall. It's setup sweeping. It wasn't even stalling back then, because like stalling is Toxic, Protect, and then you burn your team down, or the opponent's team down. This was proactive. I gained stats, and then I just beat you down and win. So I was running Swalot over Hippo. Hippo's such a good Pokemon that when I finally adopted in like late Generation 6, I don't think I ran it in X and Y. It was like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Hippo started getting like some attention. I was like, wait, if I use this to back up Sableye, I think I win every game. That I ran a lot in Generation 7, and then Hippo became a signature Pokemon in Generation 8, and one of the biggest reasons why I won a lot of Battle Spot games. How did I not use this in I would have won more games. I would have been more undefeated in Generation 4 had I been using Hippo instead of Gastrodon. Now, I'm trying to like, what in the meta was scaring me off of, you know, Hippo into the Gastrodon? And I honestly don't know. Because if it's anything like grass related, well, that's actually worse for the Gastrodon. I think I just kind of ran Gastrodon because it's like, well, mono weakness grass on the Gastrodon, mono weakness fighting on the Snorlax. There's not a lot of ways. And that was like a big thing, was just like, you know, going to Maryland and then like putting in your team and then seeing all like the weakness and resistances and all that. So a lot of people did that. So I was more of a fiend about just like not making my team vulnerable, but even then, like Hippo only adds water, and I don't really think that there's too much. Like, yeah, I don't have any water resistances, so Gastrodon was kind of cool, and the Storm Drain was. Did he have Storm Drain Gen 4? Like, I don't remember. I might have just had Sticky Hold, so I didn't lose my leftovers or something. I don't remember exactly what I did with Gastrodon. Might have even been Lumberry. Because I don't think I was, like, so advanced to be, like, water immunity, special attack shenanigans, because, like, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to stockpile. Maybe I had it. I don't know, like, that was 13 years ago, so I don't know every moment of everything that happened. I just remember the overall things, like, yeah. Oh, Cradily also being a signature Pokemon. That, like, how did I run Cradily before I was running Hippo, which was such a strong Pokemon that it holds up in modern Pokemon? like, why didn't I run full special defense Snorlax and then, like, full defense Hippo and then just have those guys synergize off each other somehow? Like, it's not as good as Toxapex Hippo, but, like, damn, it's still, like, Garchomp can't do anything to that. And, yeah, I actually tried Dugong. You guys have seen Sheer Troll, so I even made a Torterra, no, whatever that thing, yeah, Torterra. I was thinking, like, that's the intermediate one, but no, it's Grottle. So, I mean, like, I even had a Stockpile Torterra. Problem is too much ice. Like, everyone loved their ice back in the day because Garchomp was all over the place. That's also when I realized that Smogon's for babies. Like, my vendetta against Smogon started in Generation 4, where I'm like, wait, you kids are so trash at the game. You are so bad that you're scared of Garchomp? Garchomp doesn't give me any problems. Like, if you bring Garchomp battle, that's a free win. So, I mean, but, like, what? What are you doing? How are you so bad at Pokemon? You know, it was my thought about Smogon, and then, like, everything that happened from Generation 5, especially Generation 6, and onward. Every Smogon player is a complete joke. They're uncompetitive trash. They play in a little baby-coddled environment, and that's why I came in firing in October 2013. I made my Smogon as an official competitive video. Boom. Done. GG easy. That was another sad thing. A lot of people thought, like, Smogon was official rules back then. Some people do, but it's not as bad as it was. Like, half the Pokemon community literally thought Smogon was competitive because the Smogon community bullied people so hard into just, like, they just browbeat those rules in people, and they're like, oh, I guess it's competitive. I guess those are the official rules, when they never were. Of course. But idiots. Pokemon community being stupid and toxic goes all the way back over a decade, guys. It's kind of sad how things haven't changed and have gotten worse to a degree. It's not as bad with Smogon, but it's worse in other places like VGC cheating and stuff, and, you know, Cathotix catching all the world champions for cheating, including Wolfglick. Wolfglick confirmed hacker. Can't deny it. Stop crying, fanboys. But, actually, no, cry more, because, yeah, whatever. I'm just kind of rambling right now, because I'm in the good times, guys. Like, this is where it was at, and that's why I'm like, wait, like, what does this team do with Hippo? Like, how do I, like, why didn't I? I don't even think I, like, tried Hippo. Maybe I just thought it was such a stupid Pokemon. I don't know. I gave Carnivine with Stockpile a chance before I didn't even know that, like, Hippo was a thing. And look at the Generation 4 moveset. There was no excuse. Like, it still got the things back in Generation 4. There's your Stockpile. There's your Slack Off. So it's not like there was any new quality of life to Hippo that made it better. Of course, it's going to have Earthquake, still had the Learn Set Fissure, and then you can also go for something like the Stone Edge. Not Stone Edge, Rock Slide. There it is. So what did I don't know. I cannot for the life of me figure out where Hippo went. I think I was also having too much fun running Rhyperior, because I, like, did a complex chain breed. It was either a complex chain breed to get Curse on Rhyperior, or Rhyperior with, like, Ice Punch and stuff, or, like, I don't know. I did some wacky stuff to, like, get some movesets that no one even knew existed, because it's like Ice Fang or Ice Punch, plus the Curse. You had to, like, involve a Slowbro or a Tyranitar or something, or, like, to get Tyranitar with those moves. There was something complicated, I believe. Because someone's gonna be like, oh, Verlisify is a proven liar now, because he wasn't a good Pokemon player, and this Pokemon didn't have that. I did some weird stuff. It was 13 years ago. No one knew what they were doing, but I still, like, did. So I went out of my way to breed some shenanigans to get, like, Curse into the right Pokemon before I even just went, oh, Stockpile, Slack Off Hippo, and then I just kind of win every game. Also, I liked Fissure already back then. I was already, like, again, the name of the game is RNG Stockpile. Hippowdon's RNG Stockpile, free clap, easy win kind of Pokemon, and we could do that. Also, like, the idea behind Curse Amnesia on Snorlax and or Hippo, also very powerful. It just kind of, like, Stockpile frees up the move slot, and I really like that about the, this. Because, like, Hippowdon's Curse Amnesia, no Fissure, Slack Off, Rock Slide, and I like that Fissure because the Pokemon is set up and I have absolutely no way of KOing it. Alright, if you can't beat through the Hippo, I've got 8 chances to knock you down on this 1 in 3 chance, and I'm going to win. So, I mean, like, that's just game-changing right there, and if you can't beat the Hippo, then I've earned this RNG. I've earned this win, because the odds are in my favor on the 5th or 6th fissure usage. It's not cheese. It's not hacks. Should have been able to beat the Hippo, bro. And then same thing on Snorlax. Like, Stockpile Belly Drum, that was just my discovery, and that was just what was unstoppable. But Curse Amnesia effectively accomplishes the same thing, and can also, like, kind of get into the interim where it's like, oh, 3 curses? I'm unkillable, and I'm still doing hella damage on Crunch. And the drop-off means that, actually, 4 curses is going to be 3 times damage, but then it takes 2 more curses to go from 3 times damage to 4 damage. So, like, Crunch is 2-hit KOing everything at times 3, or at +4 versus +6. So, like, yeah, just run it, and that was fine. But also, there's just something magical about, like, Chesto Resto, wake up, belly drum, immediately go to sleep, tank everything, crunch, sleep, shenanigans. Like, it just worked, and that's just the game right there. So and then, like, yeah, like, the belly drum just kicks online super fast. So, I mean, I could set up Curse for 5 turns, and I can also get 2 Amnesias in there, or I can go Stockpile, belly drum, and then, like, it's online. Now, there is, like, rest involved, and I do have to, like, full sleep the rest to then wake up to belly drum to rest again. So that's where it does get a little sketchy. But now that there's a nerf to crit, I think actually that makes Curse Amnesia better, because, like, if I go belly drum and get crit that turn, game's just over right there. But if I'm, like, setting up Curse Amnesias, even if I'm, like, get crit while I'm asleep, I survive, I just wake up and sleep again. So it kind of, like, gives me that window. But Stockpile, that's the classic. That's how I ran this boy, so I'm going to try it again. And even in, like, modern Pokemon, I always revert back to Stockpile belly drum. I've dabbled in Curse Amnesia, but I don't know. And yeah, like, that's the team, guys. Like, how do you stop this in Generation 6? Oh, but then I just get you with the taunt. I mean, that's what Togekiss was for. Oh, you have a taunt Pokemon? Cool, Togekiss can, like, eat the hit or, like, predict the taunt, switch in, Air Slash, blow that Pokemon out of the game. Same thing with Froslass, same thing with Ambipom. Hippowdon can also just, like, fissure your taunt Pokemon. Snorlax can at least do something with the crunch. So it's like, yeah, okay, I eat the taunt, predict it on a fissure. I do this in modern Pokemon. I do this in Generation 7, Generation 8 or something. And then I can just kind of, like, switch out into another thing. We don't have Regenerator for, like, Toxapex shenanigans, where it's like Toxapex does weird things, where it's like, oh, predicts a taunt, uses Scald, gets the burn, switches out, comes back in, is, like, useful. But also, that's just another thing. People just didn't run taunt back then. Now taunt is a lot more prevalent. There was even, like, multiple seasons of a taunt meta in Pokemon Sword and Shield that got really ugly. But, like, why would you waste a move slot on something you're never going to encounter? So that was, like, another thing. I'm just so anti-meta that I was unstoppable back in Generation 4. Because, like, oh man, I've multiple threats, or not multiple threats, multiple ways of dealing with Garchomp. And outside of that, people just did not know how to play the game. Like, they crutched Garchomp, they'd bring in, like, a Scizor or something, and then they stand no chance. I'm trying to think about other things, because yeah, when you only have the first 493, there's not a big move pool of Pokemon. And like I said, most of my team got buffed. Togekiss is buffed. Snorlax is just strong. Drifblim got Giga buffed. I'm running Hippowdon now, so that's just a team buff right there. Froslass and Ambipom didn't have anything, but I mean, they were still, like, really strong Pokemon that were not respect. That's another thing. Like, when I look at the Smogon tier list, I'm like, wait, you guys aren't giving any respect to Froslass or Ambipom, 2 of the best Pokemon in the game? You kids suck. And yeah, so I had a couple of other Pokemon. I might make a video about that. You know, like my Rhyperior, like my Cradily, maybe Gastrodon finds a place. But, like, this is my team. This is how I decided to just be the best Pokemon player in the world in Generation 4, and I'm looking to do it again for Brilliant Diamond Shine Pearl. Really, the only issue is going to be the 20-minute timer, but I feel like there's still opportunities to play fast enough where it's like, okay, lead Drifblim, stockpile, minimize, maybe a Strength Sap in there, Baton Pass, that's 5 turns, Snorlax, Belly Drum immediately because I have the stats for it, Belly Drum rest, Chesto Resto wake up. So after 8 turns of setup, we are online with +6 Snorlax crunches, and because of the 20-minute timer, I get, like, 16 turns because it's a 60-minute turn selection, but there's also going to be move animations and, like, a hard 20-minute timer. And that's only if the person's, like, timer stalling me from the beginning, in which case it's not a legitimate battle. Like, that is an unsporting, rule-breaking, just completely uncompetitive battle, that doesn't count for anything if you start timer stalling. So, I mean, I get away with it for a few turns. They start timer stalling like 7 minutes in, but I've already gotten like a free couple of turns. I think Snorlax is fast enough. It's just that when you only have like 15 turns, like in VGC, or if there's deliberate timer stalling from the beginning, that's when we start running into problems. But I mean, I just need to get the Pokemon advantage, you know. Togekiss comes in, gets a KO, Froslass trades, Snorlax starts getting timer stalled. But there's been situations where I've won timer stall-y kind of games, where it's like, okay, belly drum, clutch it, rest, wake up, crunch, KO, rest, 1 turn left, wake up, crunch, oh, health diff, I win. So, like, you get those. You get those. And also Hippowdon, if I'm running that instead of Gastrodon, like, Gastrodon was toxic stalling, so, I mean, that could lead to some bad timer issues. But, I mean, if we're going, like, Stockpile, Fissure, it's like, okay, slack off at +1, Fissure, I'm up 1 Pokemon, Rock Slide for health advantage or something, win in time. So I think this also might not be that bad on time, but just timer feels bad. Like, even if I win after a 20-minute stall game where the opponent's stalling me, like, this, again, there's no stall here. Literally 0 stalling. The only way I get stalled is if the opponent is timer stalling me, which is ironic because, like, this team that everyone calls stall is actually the one not stalling in the game. I'm always pushing for tempo. So, I mean, like, it's never feels good when, like, or also I'm, like, forced to make decisions in a time crunch that should never exist because it's a casual battle. It should be at least 30 minutes or 60 minutes on timer. 20 is just not competitive and really shitty. So, I mean, I think I'll still manage, but I like to see games go to completion where it's like, I have dominated you, and I think Snorlax can dominate Gen 4 meta in 20 minutes, especially with all the buffs and all the teams and my knowledge that I have today. So I'm looking forward to it. And that's kind of it. Just had, like I said, long rambly video, enjoying the good times of the past. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.